Warning! The Stone Age Gamer podcast includes a lot of bad language. Cover your motherfucking ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast. I'm Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is Cursed Samurai Dan Ryan.
With sometimes a Japanese accent, but also sometimes not.
And sometimes really big hands.
Well, we're going to talk about perspective.
Yes, we are. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. All aboard the SAG Cartoon Express. Tonight, we're talking about an episode of the North American Darkstalkers cartoon. Yeah, because that exists, and if you didn't know that, well, you do now. I believe it might have been a part of the actual original USA Cartoon Express, if I'm not mistaken. And I usually am.
Son of a bee sting. Yeah,
what can't Donovan's
exciting.
balls do? Eat your favorite kind of cat food because the Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now.
Yeah, that was great. It was great. No notes. Perfect. Well done.
Hi, everyone. This is episode 553. It's the week of February 14th, 2025. Happy Valentine's Day to those who celebrate. And welcome. For anyone new here, this is the official podcast of StoneAgeGamer.com. Sorry, gambling like a degenerate. Dan and I talk every week about what's happening in the world of video games from a retro gamer's perspective, as well as whatever the hell else is going on in our lives. And speaking of which, what's new and exciting in the world, Dan?
Oh, not much. Not much. Just back to work and feeling somewhat like a normal human a little bit, which is kind of nice, you know, not gonna lie. It's kind of cool, kind of into it. It's weird, man. Like I'm just kind of like sitting here waiting now, you know. I'm just kind of waiting for somebody to be like, all right, you're good. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. And that hasn't happened yet. That's not going to happen for like another couple of weeks. But that's what I'm waiting for.
The cancer's gone, but now you have Lou Gehrig's disease.
Son of a bitch. How dare you? That's so much scarier. Yeah, like it's just, I don't know, man. It's really weird. And like everybody at work still kind of expects me to be like sick, you know? So I'm like, should I still be sick? Like for you guys?
Yeah,
better for you guys or
play it up, you know, or come in with like a blanket over your head and like a cloak, kind of
a cloak.
Basically, you need to come in looking like the Emperor.
Okay, yeah.
My chemotherapy treatments have left me scarred.
I mean, they kind of have. Emotionally,
exactly. Play that shit up. Know? You've earned it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's not a bad idea, actually. When you put it in Star Wars terms, it makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like it's super weird, just being in this space and like just being. Like, so the super frustrating part is that I am still so unbelievably weak. Just, it is absurd. And, you know, my mother-in-law moved in around the corner, and that's great. I love having her here. You know, that's awesome. But it's like, all right, well, we need to go over to Nana's, and we need to hang up some curtains. You know, when I say we, I mean me. Has to go hang up some curtains. In the rain. No rain this week. The rain, it was fine. You know, but I'm trying to hang up these curtains and I'm like standing on a step stool and like my legs are shaking and my arms are shaking because I'm trying to drill into like studs and whatnot. I'm just like, why is this so hard? This is, oh yeah, cancer. Oops. I forgot that I have poisoned myself. You know, so like just not being able to like just do that stuff that I feel like I should. Oh yeah, no problem. I'll just jump right in and do this. It's just really annoying, you know? Really, really annoying. I had a meeting at work today that was on the third floor, And I was like, I mean, I'm going to leave like a good half hour before the meeting starts because I don't know how long it's going to take me to walk up these steps. And it took a while because like my leg muscles, super fucking weak, you know? And it's just so strange. So strange. I can't really, I hate it. Like I do, I hate it officially. It's just, I don't know. It's weird, man. It's weird. But
I imagine it is.
Like better, you know, better every day kind of thing, I guess. I don't know. Like I say better every day, but I had kind of like, I mentioned last week that I was feeling pretty good, and I thought like, oh, I'll be back to like playing games pretty soon or whatever. Like I feel like my hands are getting better, and nope, definitely did not get better this week. I feel like it got a little worse. I messaged my doctor and I was like, hey, so I felt like I was making some progress with the neuropathy, and that seems to have kind of stopped. He was like, yeah, that happens sometimes. It's like, oh, cool, great. That's just where we are. We're just in the like, yeah, I mean, sometimes. I don't know. Cool. Thanks, Doc. It's real fucking helpful. So, yeah, you know, it's odd. Continues to be just the weirdest experience of my life.
Well, that sucks, but I mean,
yeah,
could be worse.
It does. It could. You're not wrong. It definitely could. Like I'm not feeling, I don't know. I'm still feeling pretty good. You know, I'm still feeling pretty confident and all of that stuff. You know, we'll see. Like talking to a couple people this week, and they were like, so like what, you get the scan, like what happens? And I was like, well, I get the scan, and it either says that, you know, we got all of the cancer, or you know, it says we didn't get all of it, and we need to go back and see what the next plan of attack is. You know, and they're like, what's the, like, are there like percentages or stuff like that? And I was like, yeah, you know, it's something like, you know, there's like a 20% chance that it didn't work. And they were like, yeah, that's really high. And I was like, no, I mean, it is. When you say like there's a 20% chance that the cancer like is still there, that sounds really high, but like an 80% chance that it's not also like that's way higher. You know, so like let's try to
think
focus
about
on
like there's a 20% chance of rain. Probably not bringing, you know, wearing a raincoat, you know, like I might put an umbrella in the car, but
a parasol, which remind me when we're talking about the show to bring up the parasol again, because it was something the kids said. It's very fucking funny as we were watching that episode. But yeah, right. Like it's not, you know, an 80% chance that it's not going to rain. You're right. You're not bringing an umbrella. You're like, no, I'm good. Thanks. You know,
I'll take my chances.
I'll take my chance. Yeah. So, it's just, man, continues to be just a fucking weird ass way of life.
It'll normalize eventually. I mean, my sister did. I mean, to the extent that my sister's ever been normal, but
right. You know. Well, and did she have to go back for any treatments after? Like she was done the first round?
I want to say yes, but I'm not sure. Yeah. I really don't remember.
Okay.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I guess is kind of what you want, you know? You
no, 100%.
In the distant past.
You want it to be something that you don't even really think about anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and this continues to be, you know, like I said it last year when we first started talking about like the diagnosis and whatever, or even beyond that, like when we first started talking about, you know, I think there could be something here. Like, I think this is pretty bad. And it was like, if it is, this is the best time to get cancer. Like, if you're going to get it, today is the best day to get it. We know more than we ever have. We have treatments and all of that stuff. And the only time that it would be better would be a year from now. So, now we're looking, 6 months out. It's a better time to reevaluate things because we know a little bit more. Like there was just a new, like within the last 2-3 weeks, I think, there was just a new like treatment protocol and cocktail of drugs that has been approved and proven to be more effective than what I was on, with a lower chance of neuropathy. So it was like, we've already, in the 6 months that I've been doing this, or 7 months, 8 months now, whatever the fuck it is, it's already advanced, so I'm still not sitting here like, well, I put those green bananas back. You better get the really yellow ones. Like I'm not, we're not even anywhere close to that yet. So yeah, it's just it's a weird space to occupy because I can't move on with anything in my life yet.
Right. You're in this weird holding pattern.
Yeah.
I tried eating a banana this week.
Yeah? I love
bananas.
Didn't like it. Really?
They were I don't really like bananas. No, I think I'm not entirely sure what it is. I think it's just a whole lot of everything. Like bananas are just a lot. They're very banana, and
they are incredibly banana.
And
they're
for
just
some
banana
reason,
in about the place. Just
I was out buying lunch meat, and I was standing there in the store, and for some reason I was like, man, I think I could go for a banana right about now. I haven't eaten one in years because I don't like them, but I kind of feel like I feel like I might be able to eat a banana. So I was home a couple days later, and Karen had a couple of bananas upstairs. I was like, fuck it, I'm going for it. And then I got like 3 bites in and was like, no, I still don't like this. This is still not okay.
This is still fucking terrible.
But I took a swing, and that's
hey,
not enough.
That's a big step, man. So do you like banana candy? Like that artificial banana?
No, I don't.
Flavor,
I like banana
okay.
bread.
Okay.
And I don't love banana bread. I was all right. Like is a strong word. I have been known to enjoy banana bread on occasion.
Okay.
I'm not seeking it out. Son of a bitch, you and your fucking free spins right at the last second, right as it popped. I got free spins on one of the tablets, which means I don't get the pop. Son of a fucking whore. Oh, well.
Very sorry. Yeah. All right. I mean, I love banana bread.
I like the smell of banana bread.
Okay.
No, that's good stuff. And like, I'll have a slice of banana bread if Karen's making it, but that's usually about the extent of it.
I went to the liquor store today for the first time since last August. Maybe even before then. And I got a bunch of things that I think are beer. Because there's some wackadoo flavors that I got. But I think in honor of your banana adventure, I think that's the one that I'm going to go for tonight. I'll get to it when we take a break. I will pour it. It is, grab it here out the fridge. It is a banana vanilla milkshake IPA. So it's an IPA with banana, lactose, and vanilla.
Wow.
So yeah, we'll get that one ready. We'll see. I might not even like beer anymore. I don't know. That would be terrible. Right? Like, come on. That's not okay.
Like a fundamental piece of your personality just gone. The wayside.
It is, right? That, the beard.
Just gonna start drinking tea.
Ew. Fuck. Get your dirty ass water away from me. Something wrong with you. You put a bunch of dirt and flowers in your water. Like, ooh, it's fancy. Fuck off. Oh, just kidding. I like tea quite a bit, actually. But, I have been checking since the treatments ended every day. Like when I get up and brush my teeth, I'm like, any eyebrows yet? No, still nothing. All right, cool. That's fine. Wonder how long that's going to take to come back.
They'll get there eventually.
just looking at it every day is not helping at all. But it is what I am doing. Like every morning, I kind of like I scope it out. I'm like, are we even getting any like stubblies poking in? No, nothing at all.
That's a bummer.
It is.
It's a big old bag of sad right there.
It's a big old bag of no eyebrows. Is what it is. It's a big old bag of Matt Smith. It's fucking terrible.
He's a strange looking dude, isn't he?
He's a fucking alien, man. Like, he was perfect for the Doctor. Because that dude just looks weird.
Well, this was my first week of attempting to go 3 days to the gym, which I successfully did, and I am not dead.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, switched up from Tuesday, Thursday to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I actually ran today. I did the treadmill and I ran, and I tried some new machines on Wednesday that I hadn't done before, and my legs are all sore because I'm not skipping leg day.
No, nor should you.
Nor should I. That's the thing. I don't understand skipping leg day. I feel like the legs are the easier part. Like, it's my arms that are weak as noodles and always have been. So I'm like struggling and making all kinds of weird faces and shit while I'm doing the arm exercises. And you know, I've gotten to the point where I care a lot less about how odd I look in the gym. So
right. That's good.
Nice. I'm still kind of self-conscious when there's like big beefy looking dudes around. Like, so this is my first Friday going, and like this just impossibly good looking couple comes in to start exercising. And like this woman's got her baby with her, like little tiny baby in her little car seat while she's working out. And then like her husband's just like walking around being buff as shit. And I'm just like, okay, this is fine. Everything's fine. And he was in the sauna.
Buff as fuck.
He's just walking around lifting all kinds of shit that I couldn't even, like, my back hurt just looking at him.
Yeah.
And then he was in the sauna when I went to go use the sauna, and I was like, sat down on the other corner of the sauna and being like, just ignoring him and sitting there and pretending that I belong there. Sweating my balls off.
I'm gonna be sad over here.
Yeah, you're over here just like, you know, ripping rips and curls, and you're just chilling out after doing a sweet workout. And I'm over here like dead on the inside, crying, sweat everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
But it was fine, and I genuinely do feel better on the days. Feel better on the days that I don't go, and the whole water drinking thing I think is working out well for me. That's harder than I expected. It's not easy to make myself drink this much water, even with all the reminders that I have on my phone and my watch. Like, yeah, I'm just not thirsty. But now I'm realizing when I don't drink that much water, I feel like I am thirsty. I feel like this kind of tired feeling that I would get before, and be like, that's what that was. I'm thirsty. Right. Like that wasn't I'm tired because I didn't get enough rest or anything. This isn't why I'm falling asleep, or this isn't why I feel this exact way. It's because I need water. So
my body is telling me to be healthier.
But it's doing a real shit job of it, because I know what being thirsty feels like, and this ain't it. It's like different kind of thirsty or something. I don't know. I've been doing a whole lot of self-improvement, and I hope it doesn't crash and burn at some point. That's why I keep forcing myself to do it.
Or am I thirsty?
Forcing myself to try to do it as slowly as possible. I'm like, I want to make sure that I'm not overdoing any of this, so that I don't burn myself out and then decide, well, I can't do this anymore, and fall back into old habits. I don't want to make this a temporary thing. I want this to be the way I live going forward. You know, like I want to be.
Well, yeah, because that's what it is, right? Like, it's a lifestyle change.
Yes, that's what I'm aiming for.
It's not a fix. It's not like, oh, well, I did the working out. I'm good now. I don't have to do it anymore. Like, no, this is just you forever.
Yeah, and that's what I want to. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to. That's what I want to be. I want to be somebody who has an exercise regimen as part of his life. And I'm not changing my diet all that much. Like, that's not part of this. I don't mind being a little chonky. Like, that's
sure.
I love food too goddamn much. but adding the exercise and the water to the situation has been. I'm waiting for it to. I'm waiting for it to level out and feel more natural, and it's still not quite there yet because I still have trouble getting to bed early enough to make this be sustainable, and trying to figure out, well, like I if I'm going to be doing this when I'm doing it in the mornings, then like I had to readjust my shower schedule. Like I remember a long time ago, I used to be a morning shower back when I had hair, and then I transitioned to showering in the afternoon because that's, after I've had the day. But now I get home from the gym, and if I don't shower till the afternoon, I'm pretty offensive.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm ripe, and I've been doing that. I've just been, because I'm here by myself, just stewing in my own filth. But it's gotten to the point where like I would get up and do something. I put a hoodie on, and I was like, oh no, I am now offending myself. This has gotten serious. So now I need to readjust, but I can't just shower as soon as I get home from the gym because I'm still sweating. Like, I have to give myself at least an hour and change before I get in the shower, because otherwise I'm going to get out and just be sweaty again.
Sure.
Which is fine for now, but come summertime, like I'll get sweaty walking hopper in the afternoon. So like, but I'm not taking 2 showers in a day. But I don't know, we're going to have to see how I feel when I go to bed. So if I feel too filthy when I go to bed, then that's simply unsustainable. So I don't really know what the plan is. I'm not going to shower at the gym. I refuse.
No. Yeah. I mean, you might get there. You don't know, like it
just
might
rinse
just
myself off when I'm there, and that should be enough to get me through the day before I take a proper shower at home. I don't know. Have somebody fucking scrub your back while you're there.
It's nice. Hey, come here, buff, sexy man. Come here and rub my back while I'm showering, please.
Can you shampoo my back hair?
You got to make friends. What better way is all I'm saying.
Do I have to make friends? I have one friend that goes to the gym at the same time I do. She didn't even notice I was there this morning. And that's fine by me. That's not a complaint. Right. That was when I saw her this afternoon, and I mentioned that I was the running thing. She's just like, I commented that on your watch, and wait, you were there at the same time? It's like, yes, you were on the stair thing. I was 2 machines down from you. But she just started watching.
Self-absorbed bitch.
She just started watching Letterkenny. So
okay.
She's watching Letterkenny while she's exercising. I finally convinced her to start watching it, and she was like, oh, you're right, this is fucking great.
We started Fallout this week. The Fallout TV show.
Yeah.
That's fucking great.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah, that show is wondrous.
Penn is like super obsessed with the Fallout universe currently. Like 2 weeks ago, she bought like New Vegas, and she beat it within a week. And I was like, wow, that's fucking okay. Right on. Go you.
To have that kind of time.
Right? Just to be 15 and like, I went to school and now nothing I do matters until I wake up tomorrow morning. I can just exist.
Somebody will feed me.
Yeah, somebody will calm me down and food magically appears. It's amazing how that kind of shit happens. But like, yeah, she's been super, super obsessed with it. So can we start watching the show? Like, yeah, sure. So that's our Thursday night thing now. We're going to watch an episode of Fallout per week, because we're also like still watching Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is pretty fucking good, and Severance, which is fucking incredible. Because we still can't play anything, and it's really pissing me off. I haven't turned on my PlayStation yet this year. Like this year. Hasn't even been on. No baseball. Nothing. Yeah, it sucks.
Bust out the weed.
But anyway.
Motion controls.
Right? I think I still have one upstairs in the attic, maybe. Which is like anathema when people hear that shit. Like, oh, you're leaving your fucking video game up in the attic? Yeah, I am. I don't care. I know I should. I don't. So anyway.
So no game playing for you this week?
I just Snap. Like, that's still like really the only thing. I'm gonna have to fucking find like an RTS or something. I hear that StarCraft is pretty good. Fucking start playing StarCraft competitively. I'm just gonna jump right into the competitive scene. No, like it's just it really what it comes down to is just the fact that the frustration is just not worth it. You know. Because I can't play effectively the way that I want to. I can't really hold the Steam Deck comfortably, or like a Wii, a fucking Wii, not a Wii, a Switch. Like, I can't hold that comfortably for very long, or controllers, that sort of thing. So it really just comes down to, I can use my mouse left-handed to play Snap, because my right hand is just goddamned useless, and it's so like it's just real frustrating, Yeah, because I'm sure I could jump in, like when I wake up in the morning, as long as I don't try to button a shirt, it feels pretty good for a little bit. So I'm sure, like, first thing when I woke up, if I wanted to try and like play Hades or something like that, or no, that's not a really good example because there's a lot of quick button stuff. I'm sure I could play something first thing in the morning, which would then just upset me because it would then hurt my hand for the rest of the day. Like, it would just be uncomfortable then, and it'd be like, oh, like I did this to myself and now can't play anything again. So I don't know. We're just kind of in that like weird holding pattern of like I can do this one thing, so I'm just going to keep doing that, I guess, until if I have to go to occupational therapy or get like one of those fucking weird like springy things, that you attach to your wrist and your fingers, and like if I got to do like whatever I got to do, it's just. It's not worth it to try to do any of those things if in 2 weeks I have to go back.
That makes sense.
Like, it's just not worth the effort of like, oh, go to occupational therapy for a week and then sorry, you got to go back and do something else. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So we'll jump off that bridge when we get to it.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Last week was John's movie pick, and he picked Sonic 3, which was fine.
They're good. They're good. Like, they're not great. They're good, though.
Guess. I don't know. I didn't dislike it, and I didn't dislike the other two movies. This was definitely Shadow the Hedgehog angst and power of friendship or whatever at the end. I don't know. It was fine. I remember seeing like headlines when looking for news to do on the show, and like Jim Carrey said he'd be willing to return to a Sonic 4, but how could that be? He died at the end of Sonic 3. I'm like, I didn't see a fucking body. What? Are you new here?
Come on.
What is this fucking nonsense? Like, was his corpse on screen? That he didn't fucking die. There was an explosion.
Even if it was. Honestly, even if it was.
We're not willing to do multi-dimensional stuff in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe. Get out of here.
Get bent. You knucklehead. Sorry for my
that was
language.
Fine. Then this week we went to go see on Tuesday, because the movie theater does like these cheap movie nights.
Right.
We went to go see the Dogman movie because the kids are both huge fans of the Dogman books. Just absolute nuts for them. So we went to go see the movie, and it was pretty good. It was there was like some weird bits of sadness in it, which is like something that those books do. Like they'll hit you with the feels from time to time, like for a kid's book. But like there was this one bit in the beginning that I thought was really unnecessarily sad, and it didn't add anything to the story, because like there are sad bits that add things to story, and it's like, okay, that's
like
cool.
Up.
Yeah, like Up.
Did you ever see Up?
Oh,
you're like, God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Where's the cute dog from the commercial?
The beginning of that movie is harsh. So in the books, the whole your kids are too old for Dogman. I can't imagine you're very familiar with it.
They read. I think they were like just about too old. Like when the first one came out, like 5-6 years ago, they were like 9. And that was kind of like they saw it and were like, this is cool. And then that all of a sudden they were too old. You know. Yeah.
So, the whole premise of Dogman is that there's a dog and there's a cop, and they get into a car accident, and they can't save the dog or the cop. So, but they're like, well, what if we sewed the dog's head onto the cop's body? Brilliant. Saved everyone. And that's the story. So,
I've seen that movie. It's called Wolf Soldiers. Or Dog Soldier, actually. It's real bad. For being totally honest with each other. I'm sure Dogman is a much better version of that story.
So they do that, except they do this thing where, like, the cop has a girlfriend and a dog, and then, like, when he gets out of the hospital, he goes home, and, like, she left him without telling him, and moved out, and got a new boyfriend and a new dog, and, like, that was it. They never touched on it again. There was never any reconciliation. There was just, like, every now and then there was a picture of his old family on the wall, and he'd walk by and be sad and then go up to his dog bed and, like, why is this here? Like, there was tennis...
Does he talk?
No, he just barks.
Oh, okay. All right.
Other characters talk, obviously, but he just barks like a dog.
But Dogman just...
Yeah, he just barks and howls and stuff. But, like, there was a tennis ball involved that, like, that was the dog's favorite toy was this tennis ball that had his name on it. And that comes into play at the end of the movie, but you didn't need the sad family story to show that he had a tennis ball that meant a lot to him. Like,
yeah,
that was weird.
Also, that's a weird choice.
There's this the character, the chief, in the books. He falls in love with Nurse Lady, and Nurse Lady wasn't in the movie, but they had him fall in love with the TV news reporter Sarah Hadoff, and I am not okay with that because Nurse Lady fucking rules. And if they make a second one of these movies and Nurse Lady shows up,
you're a Dogman truther.
I am a Dogman truther. Chief and Nurse Lady for life.
I'm willing to go out on that fucking limb. Yeah, man, that's fucking weird. Like, why? Not having read the books myself, it just seems like a weirdly unnecessary change.
Just a little bit of sadness to throw in there for no real purpose. But other than that, I thought it was a very well done movie. It looked great. It was funny. A lot of the bits from the book made it in that made me smile and made me chuckle, and I recognized all of them. And John and Ellie both loved it, so it was
that's great.
It's a very winning situation. Then we went out to Red Robin for dinner afterwards and had some burgers. My burger was really fucking good too.
That's outstanding.
It was a wonderful night. Like,
did you go with the bottomless root beer float at Red Robin?
No. I just had water.
I am a fan of the bottomless root beer float. Like, if I'm going to Red Robin, like, I'm going all in.
I'm not a big root beer float guy. It's not really my bag.
Yeah. Oh, man. Love a good float.
Carbonated beverages in general don't really get my toes curled. So
I wish they didn't for me. Like, I wish it would be so much easier to just be like, in light of some of the things we discussed this week, like, I'm just never going to drink soda again. But, like, come on. That's not fucking going to happen. Like, I'm going to have to. You fascinate me as a human specimen. Like, I'm getting up at 5 o'clock and I'm going to the gym uncaffeinated. I'm just going to go throughout my whole day uncaffeinated.
Just
what the fuck is wrong?
Life.
How is that possible? Jesus. And then
I feel like Karen hates me.
But then when things go wrong, I'm not going to fix it with drugs or alcohol. I'm just going to, like you said, I'm just going to raw dog life. God, there are better ways, Kris. We've come up with both uppers and downers to help with multiple situations. I'm so excited for the one day where you're like, so I'm hooked on acid. I don't know how that happened. Just dropping 12 tabs at a time. Putting holes in my spine. It's great. Just, man, I don't know how you do it. I envy you. I do.
Yeah. Sometimes I envy people who have the option of doing something that gives them extra energy. Like, doing it in the morning really doesn't bother me because I'm pretty awake in the morning. I am a morning person.
Sure.
Like, I get up to go to the gym at 5 o'clock in the morning, and by 5:15 I'm ready to get out the door if I'm not on the toilet. And but like sometimes towards the end of the day, I'm like, I wish I had something that would give me just a little bit of extra energy to get me over the finish line. Because sometimes it gets to be the end of the day and I'm just fucking toasted. But it's getting a little bit better now with the more exercise and hydration. So I guess that's not nothing. But sleeping through the night is becoming more of a problem because I've been drinking so much water. I can't sleep through the night without getting up and being like, well, shit, I really have to pee now.
Yeah.
So that's somewhat problematic because then I have a hard time. Like last night, I had a hard time getting back to sleep. So I'm running on less sleep than I should have. And it's already a tight enough schedule, being like, I got to get to bed on time so that I have enough sleep to get through the day after going to the gym.
Right.
I don't know. It's all a balancing act.
You got to find a power nap in there somewhere, like a half-hour power nap. And I can't nap. Like I am not a nap person, but I hear tell that if you can work that in, that it's just fucking life-changing.
I have been down the nap road before, and I have done the power nap, and it has been helpful, but there are a lot of days where it's not an option, where it's like, I have too much work to do. I can't blow off any of this work to nap for a half an hour. I need that half an hour to get my work done. And today was one of those days because I had a really long work meeting and I was having a really hard time focusing earlier in the week. So I kind of got myself behind really early, and it's been a rough week. But to kind of build off of the Dogman movie, I got assigned to review the Dogman game, which is neat. I got it for John for Christmas, and I think I talked about it a little bit on the show before. It's
just a competent little platformer.
Yeah, it's competent. Its controls kind of weird. Your character's inertia is a little finicky, which I find odd. But it's cute. It's got cute music, and the platforming all works. It's cleverly designed. I feel like it could be a little bit more polished, but all things considered, for a game based on an animated property like this, it could definitely be worse. And I'm enjoying it so far. So I got through the first world, and I 100% completed it. And it's funny watching John be like, all right, well, this is how you get to the hidden level. He's like coaching me the whole time, and I get to the hidden level, and he's like, I've never seen the end of this before. And I'm like blowing through it. He's like, you are a gaming god. And I'm like, dude,
no.
Really not. It's the Dogman game. This is really easy. And like, I've died once or twice just from being completely fucking reckless while I'm playing. And he's like, yeah, man, this part's really hard. I'm like, it's really not. I'm just being really reckless because otherwise it's kind of boring because it's really early in the game, so it's super easy. Yeah. But it's neat, and it was fun. I got that because they gave me Stray to review too. And I mentioned that the Dogman movie was coming out and that I had the game, and Lucas was like, well, you're already reviewing a cat game, may as well do a dog one too.
Got to do a dog game. You want to do like Bear and Breakfast next?
Well, I did start Stray as well. I put a decent amount of time in that. I'm already farther than I got in the PlayStation 4 version.
Right.
Which I really just wasn't all that far. I got to a point where I was just completely fucking lost, and I got stuck in the same exact place this time around too. Of like, I remember this, and I don't know where to go, and it was because the building that I needed to go into was orange instead of blue, and the whole thing was like, you need to find the blue buildings. Go to the blue buildings. That's where you need to go. And then I did all the blue buildings, and I was like, well, where was the other one? Where was the one I'm supposed to go back to with the dude after I find the things? where's the blue building that he's in? But it's not blue. He's in an orange one. It's like, fuck, what a dope I am. Anyway, so what's interesting is that I fully expected this to be a nightmare, right? Like I expected from what we saw of little video clips of Stray running on like the Nintendo Direct, and just considering that it didn't exactly run flawlessly on the PS4, I really had low expectations. Like, this thing's not going to run well, but it runs surprisingly well. And not to say that it runs great, but it's not very far off from the PS4 version. It's just got some lower level textures here and there. Sure. But all things considering, it's holding together, and it hasn't been super distracting. It hasn't been any more distracting than the weird texture pop-in issues that I was having when I played it on PS4. Right. I'm really, really shocked at how competent it is. Like, it's a pretty solidly done port, considering this is an indie game and all. Obviously, the Switch is capable of more, but considering the PS4 version on a technical level really wasn't doing a whole lot better than this, I'm surprised at how well it's going, and I'm enjoying it just as much as last time. I find it a really fascinating world, and I was turned off last time a little bit by how sci-fi it was. Like, I kind of thought I was just going to be a cat, and like, even if I'm in a sci-fi world, I thought I'd just be a cat, not a cat with like a cool robotic backpack or something. But I've gotten over that, and it's still cute, and I'm having a good time, and I haven't played it all week because this week has been this week, but I'm looking forward to putting some more time in it in the morning. I really liked it when I played through Stray. I was pretty happy with it. It's a good game. It's definitely, I know it's got a reputation for being a good game, and for good reason. Yeah. It feels good to control. It's intuitive. I like it. I'm happy to have it.
Yeah, it's weird to play through the game and be like, controlling this cat and doing cat things in this world feels natural and intuitive, but it does. Like, that's impressive.
Yeah, they done good.
They done good.
They done the goodness.
So I do have a question for you before we move on. And I don't know if this is something we talk about on the show or not, but Dean is obviously not here with us.
Oh, right.
Tonight.
Yeah.
And he very cryptically in the Discord chat, when I was kind of razzing him a little bit about it, said, "I told Kris how I feel about the show." Did he mean Darkstalkers or this show?
Darkstalkers.
Okay, because I read that and I was like, all right, that seems ominous, but cool.
Now he
thought you were going to get on Dean. So Dean fucking hates all of us. Like, oh, did he hear what we said off the air?
No, I remembered where he was tonight, and then I said, have all the fun, doing what you're doing, and don't watch Darkstalkers. And he said, I did watch Darkstalkers. I've been standing out in the cold for 45 minutes to take pictures. I'd rather stand outside in 30-degree weather again.
All right, fair. Okay.
But more on that after the breaks.
Sorry, it just popped into my head as we're sitting here. I was like, man, that was an ominous fucking reply from Dean.
Fuck y'all.
I mean, whatever. That's fine.
So after last week, when there was, all the doom and gloom about the VCS, I got a new VCS game this week. I got Looney Landers.
That's awesome.
The new game from the Donut Dodo guy.
Yeah.
It's really good. I've probably put about like 15 minutes into it. So these little it's hard to really get a grip on what this game is from watching the trailers. And now that I've played it, it's like a little bit of Skydiver for Atari 2600, and I want to say it's just like a way more complex version of Skydiver. So like there's a stage, there's a giant clown, and there's like a bunch of other obstacles flopping around all over the place, and then there's little platforms, that if you can land on them, you get a bunch of coins for. And there's other things you can collect on the way down. And these planes are going across the top. And it's you versus a computer, or you versus somebody else. And as the plane goes by at any point, you can press a button to drop your dude out. And then you press the button again to pull your parachute, just like in Skydiver. And you can control yourself more slowly. And you want to try to successfully navigate through the obstacles and land on these platforms before your opponent does, so that, you know, whoever can score the most before all the platforms are gotten wins the stage.
Okay. That sounds fun.
It's really quite fun. I mean, I've loved Donut Dodo and Cash Cow so far, so it's not a surprise that this is fun. But I really didn't know what to make of this from looking at the trailers, other than like, well, it's got the same art direction, the music sounds great, and it's from this guy, so I'm 100% in. But I really don't know what to make of this. And now having put a little bit of time into it, I'm really looking forward to playing more of it, because it's super fun. Now, hopefully, tomorrow morning, I can get a little bit more time in with that and Stray before I have to start my day. I did also put some time into the Switch version of Tony Hawk 2, but I'll talk about that later. I just wanted to let you know that I have been doing my homework this time to the extent that I am capable of.
I am really happy that I picked a game that I know really, really well, because I haven't. Because I can't.
That's a good point. I should take that into consideration when I pick my next game. Either that or we'll have to take the month off.
Nah, do what you got to do. I'll make one of the kids play it, and I'll just sit here.
Which is close enough. Watching somebody play it is good enough. But I have a lot of thoughts on Tony Hawk so far.
I'm so excited to hear what you think and either love or hate or any of those things.
Well, now that I know how to play it, because it does, the new one does have a very in-depth tutorial.
Did I say
version.
that?
You
Did
weren't
I say
sure.
I thought it had one? I wasn't sure.
You were unsure. So, but it definitely does. And now I have a better understanding of it. So now that I understand it better, I want to go back to the PS2 one again. And then I still have to try the N64 and Dreamcast ones. Because I'm super curious how different they are, particularly the N64 one. Because now that I understand this game, I don't know how you do that with an N64 controller. Like, how is that going to feel? Either. How is that going to feel on an N64 controller? That's going to be so freaking weird, and I'm really excited to try it out.
I've never tried it. I might, but I don't have a 64 controller. Like, I could play the N64 version and just map buttons to my my fucking Retro Fighters PS2 controller, but that doesn't...
Not, yeah, that's
but I'm still just playing the PS2 controller.
Exactly. Like, it's going to be the same thing, except it's going to sound worse and look a little chunkier. But specifically with that Trident controller, what does Tony Hawk feel like? I'm excited.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing that I will mention is I was on Blue Sky, and Jason Cirillo, he's one of the guys who works at Digital Eclipse, and one of the programmers for Tetris Blast in the Tetris Forever. Tetris Blast. The Tetris Time Warp, that's it. Jesus. Tetris Time Warp, not Tetris Blast.
Okay.
So he was the programmer of Tetris Time Warp, and he was talking about an update that they did for the latest update for Tetris Forever that has, some updates and stuff for Tetris Time Warp in it, and talking about how that was working out. Let's see. He said, "Hi, if you play Tetris Time Warp, I have some good news. I've made quite a few updates to the game that I think you'll enjoy. Sure, there are a few bug fixes, but some pretty cool improvements all around. Really looking forward to getting it out there soon." So I replied, "Are there handicap options? I love playing puzzle games with my wife, but we aren't quite on the same skill level, so playing Time Warp didn't go so well." And his response was, "We really didn't add any handicap options this time around. We didn't get any requests at all until now for that, unfortunately. However, it's not to say we can't add something in a future update. Thanks for the suggestion." And then, let's see, that was 5 minutes later, he responded again, "You know what? Forget what I said. This is too good of a suggestion not to try to add it in."
Nice. That's awesome.
He then, I said, "You're awesome." He responded, "No 100% concrete promises, but I think we can pull it off." So obviously he's covering his butt there. But
Sure.
I thought that was pretty neat. I've indirectly influenced the development of Tetris Time Warp.
Who knew you had such power?
Right?
Jesus,
Thanks,
what
Blue
else
Sky.
can you do? Yeah, well done, Blue Sky. Fuck, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, that made me happy. And if we do get difficulty like settings, handicap settings, because we really I had a lot of fun playing it with Karen, except for the fact that we just couldn't keep the game going very long because I'm much faster at it than she is, and that's just not fun. You know, like we play a ton of Dr. Mario together because we can handicap the shit out of it and then we can make it an even match, and it's really fun, and we curse and yell at each other. Well, I say each other. Karen says horrible things to me and I laugh a lot.
Yeah, that tracks.
And having Tetris Time Warp to add to our puzzle game entourage would be lovely. But anyway, that's everything that I've got. You got anything else before we take a break?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, then we are going to take ourselves a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about what's going on at Stone Age Gamer and jump into some week-old news. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. And now here's a quick look at what's new from us and our partners at Geekade.com.
First up, a long time ago, Kris lived with a weird guy named John. And that weird guy just so happened to be a very, very talented musician. He recorded a couple of albums and then disappeared into the ether. It's not exactly the ether. It's more like music industry and the breakneck high stakes, and I mean this sincerely, the breakneck high stakes world of tuba playing. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, you're not fucking ready, like if we're being honest. Those two albums that John recorded, though, were something special. At least Kris thinks so, anyway. But what will Matt make of them? We'll find out in Turning Tracks, episode 28, Argyle Johansson.
What a name. Next.
Well, surprised watching Californication and being like, why the fuck do I know that's... Oh, that's John! Oh, okay. That was
John
cool.
And me on accordion.
Yeah, it was so weird. You still getting royalties for that one?
No, actually, John offered me royalties at one point. It would have been like, 45 cents or something.
I mean, I would have kept that check and framed it. It's my 45-cent royalty check.
I already have a 2-cent royalty check framed hanging on my wall. I'm all set.
I'm all set on royalty checks. I'm good. Thank you.
Next up, life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Except I'm not in Duckburg. I'm in New Jersey, and it's cold. But that's neither here nor there. For the first new wave back of the year, I decided to cover the tunes of DuckTales Remastered. And since we missed January, I went ahead and included the NES game in there as well, because it's my show, and I'll do whatever the fuck I want. So if you're like me, and you think the music of the classic DuckTales game has some kick-ass... If you think that... Yeah, that's really good writing here.
That's not a great sentence.
If you
I'm going to be honest with you.
The music of the classic DuckTales game kicks some ass, be sure to tune in to Waveback 182, DuckTales Remastered.
Is kick-ass? If you think the classic DuckTales has some kick-ass... Like, there's a number of ways you could have gone without writing music that many times.
You're 100% right, except it was late, and I had been working all day in the coal mines.
If you music think music, DuckTales music has ass-kick music. Then music.
Ass.
Finally, Hit the Music, Hit the Ice is a hockey game for the TurboGrafx 16, Game Boy, Sega Genesis, and Super NES. It was actually... I had to stop myself from saying Genesis. Did you hear that?
I did.
There was like a
that.
little hiccup. Yeah, I had to stop, and thank God I didn't just admit that. It was actually an arcade game first, but who cares? Not me. That's who. What does this have to do with a mediocre Blaster Master game for Game Boy Color? Why is Ryan putting his collection on music? Why is Andy gaming on music? What does any of this music? Find out in Weekend Rental, episode 196. The Gamers Hit the Ice. Music.
You ruined my ice chip.
I'm sorry. I know. I just wanted to say music a lot. I thought it would be a good idea.
It's a great idea.
Thank you.
For all these great ideas and more from us and our partners, be sure to keep your eyes on music.com. Geekade.com.
Music. Geekade.music.
All right, everybody, we're back. So when I put Ellie to bed, we'll spend some time like flipping through Facebook videos, and we flip past, they're watching cooking videos, and we flip past one where there's this guy who found the recipe to grade school pizza from like the 80s.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that video. I haven't watched it, but I've passed by it. Is it good?
Portable dough. I mean, he made it, and then he was just like, yep, this tastes exactly like lunchroom pizza from when you were a kid.
Yep.
This is what it was. It's that's a thing. It's been sitting in my head for this last week. And is it also true that people in Pittsburgh have like uncooked pizza? Like they just cook the crust and then they throw the toppings on raw?
There is a weird pizza thing in Pittsburgh. I don't know if it's like if they're raw dogging the toppings, as you like to say, but I wouldn't doubt it. It's fucking Pittsburgh. You've been there. It's a weird place.
It is. I just was, flipped past something on Facebook that has a picture of like cooked pizza crust with a bunch of like cheese and pepperoni on top of it. And
just like unmelted mutts.
Yeah, just shredded mozzarella and pepperonis, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'd eat that.
I mean, I'd eat a lot of things, but
like Lunchables pizza, which is like kind of terrible, but you're not heating that shit up, right? It's you just eat it cold.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but like imagine that with good ingredients. I'd be into that.
Yeah,
I don't know that I would ever choose it over cooked pizza. I think that's what's confusing to me. I don't know that I would willingly say, you know what, give it to me like that instead of putting it in the oven. I don't know that I could make myself do that.
We got an option today. We're going out for lunch. We could go to Katz's Deli or get a Lunchable. It's the same thing. Either way. Whatever you're feeling.
Pastrami sandwich Lunchables.
I mean, maybe Katz's wasn't the best fucking example, but you get it. Fuck, man. Like that. Yeah, I'm looking at it online right now, and I that's weird. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, like it doesn't sound bad, but again, when the option of fully cooked pizza is on the table, why would you ever choose that?
You obviously have a device with which to cook the crust, so like just do it's like a Tribe Called Quest. You got to do the whole thing. Fuck, man, that's weird.
Anyways, it's time to talk about what's new at Stone Age Gamer. Hey, back in business here. So we've got the NES hubs. They arrived, I think, as of this recording, they arrived yesterday. NES hubs are here and pre-orders are shipping, which means that probably by the time this episode goes out, our pre-orders will have shipped out and the NES hubs will be available for purchase regularly on the site. The NES hub is the thing that exists that actually goes into the bottom of the NES and finally uses that external port that nobody's ever used before.
That's awesome.
Does things like expansion audio, and it's going to have a lot of uses in the future, I think. But it just kind of opened up the door for a bunch of new NES related things, and I'm very, very excited about seeing where that goes.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
So that's big win. Hooray for finally getting those in. I've been waiting on those for a while. We just got an extremely large order of Pokemon plush in. One of our distributors finally started just got a bunch of Pokemon plush, and we hadn't really had a lot of Pokemon available to us in the past. These ones are a little pricey, but they're also really, really nice.
Okay.
So, that's something to bear in mind when looking at the price tags. They're apparently very, very nice plush. Like, they're the super soft, very well tailored, as it were. Good stuff there. And I entered all of them. I made the listings for all of them, which was fun because I don't make a lot of listings on the site. But that's going to change.
Right.
Listing new products. The G comps are actually in stock now. We've been waiting on those for a very long time, and then it took us a good long while to actually fill the pre-orders for them. And now that we have, G comps are ready and available. Like, you can just go to the website and buy a G comp. G Scarts, we've still got a ways to go on those. There was some sort of issue with production. I don't know. It's just a big old question mark. But they are coming either way. G comps are available now, and so are Morph 4Ks. The Morph 4Ks are back in stock. We were out of those for probably since the holidays. I think we were actually out of those, and now they have returned in all the different colors. So we have those available now, and that is what's been going on with Stone Age Gamer.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, I like getting big restocks. It always makes me happy when we get
that's great. Yeah,
that product back in stock that people have been asking about. So hooray! Which means it is now time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment. Strap yourselves in for week-old music.
I like it. I would like to
for you.
May I start week-old music? This music?
Please do. Yes, please.
Okay.
Please, music.
So this I just thought was really fucking cool. I just came across it just today, kind of by happenstance. It's from the International Flipper Pinball Association, which, if you go to their website, ifpapinball.com, this is pinned to the top of their website. And this is like a legit pinball website. Like, they run competitions. They have the World Pinball Pro Rankings on their site. Like that, this is like a big deal. Jason Zoller, by the way, #1 currently. I'm a big Jason guy. Although #2, Escher Lefkoff, I've always been a big Escher guy too. Anyway, this message comes from the IFPA, and I'm just going to read it verbatim from here. The IFPA supports trans and non-binary players in the competitive pinball community, and we want to make our stance on gender at women's events very clear. Trans women are women. Trans men are men. Non-binary identities exist and are valid, and non-binary players who wish to participate in women's events should feel welcome to do so. We expect IFPA-sanctioned tournaments and leagues to be free from homophobia, transphobia, and all other types of discrimination. This applies to both open events and women's events. Tournament and league directors are encouraged to enact codes of conduct that reflect the PAPA and IFPA complete competition rules related to player conduct, and may do so at their discretion. Please see our gender inclusion policy for more information about eligibility in women's events. Pinball is for everyone. That's fucking awesome. It's ridiculous that we live in a world where that has to be said, but I applaud this organization for coming out and being like, fuck this and fuck you. Women are women. Done. Moving on.
Yeah. I'm trying to resist the urge to say something snarky because I don't want to, because I'm in agreement with that. And
well, yeah, I mean, we this week an executive order was signed banning men from participating in girls' sports, which okay, so that's not happening. But so this is, I think, in response to that, because we view, these gaming competitions and esports and pinball and that sort of thing, as these things gain more popularity, there's always going to be that segment of the population where this kind of shit has to be said. But I'm really impressed with this organization of getting out there and saying it right away. And that's fucking great. And I just wanted to call attention to it.
I agree.
Play more pinball.
Pinball's awesome.
It really fucking is. It really is. And it's one of those few things that digital pinball machines are really cool. Still not quite the same, though.
Right, because it
really
is such a physical game. You know, you can simulate physics, but then there's just physics. There's just what's going to happen when this ball rolls around, kind of a thing.
Right, and all the little nuances that go with that physical hulking beast of a machine that all fucking pinball cabinets are. It's just such a fucking awesome thing. I love it so much. But anyway, that's my contribution to week-old music.
Well done. Let's see. Next up, Nintendo Life reports Capcom's best-selling Mega Man game reaches another sales milestone. Mega news for the 11th major entry. So let's see. Back in 2022, Capcom announced that Blue Bomber's latest outing, Mega Man 11, had become the best-selling entry in the series' history. Capcom has now delivered an update on this a few years later, with the news that sales have jumped from 1.6 million units to surpass 2 million sales milestone. That puts it ahead of Mega Man 2's lifetime sales of 1.51 million, as well as the Mega Man Legacy Collection, which has sold 1.6 million units.
Huh. People like Mega Man. Who fucking knew?
Yeah, who would have guessed?
Capcom.
Where's Mega Man 12? You just make another Mega Man game. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just make more of that.
Just do more of that. And Mega Man is a game. I don't love the Legends games. Right? I don't think you do either, right? You're not.
No, I was never able to get into them.
They're not bad. I'm not saying that. They're just, I prefer a 2D Mega Man. But there is a 3D Mega Man game out there, right? There has to be.
Right, because Legends
that could be really awesome and really fun and frenetic and just all of those things that you would want a fast-paced action game to be.
Yeah, Mega Man Legends doesn't even attempt to be Mega Man in 3D.
Right.
That's not a thing that it even tries to do. Yeah, nobody's tried it. Nobody's actually tried to make a proper 3D Mega Man game. I mean,
it just seems so wild.
Have dipped their toes into that with 7 and 8, but a full-on classic Mega Man series in 3D.
Wow. Yeah. Or even imagine a Mega Man, and I know this might be a weird comparison, but the fucking other M. Even something, maybe not tied to the Wii control scheme, but even something like that. There's Mega Man's awesome, and it's such a malleable concept.
Yeah.
It can literally be whatever the fuck you want it to be. Just put man at the end of it, and then, oh, look, now he's got that power. And now we design this cool thing around it. It just seems and maybe we'll get there. I mean, Capcom's doing Onimusha. Maybe we'll get there.
Yeah, maybe we will. They still value the brand. They just don't really seem to know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Any users.
Make another
next
animated
up,
series.
There you go. Time Extension reports Trump's tariffs have changed everything for makers of essential retro gaming gear. So this is actually something that we've been trying to figure out how to deal with as our talking to our distributors and everything. These tariffs are, if they actually happen, because again, it's really hard to plan for them. If are they going to be around for a week? Are they going to be around for 6 months? A lot of this stuff is going to get very tricky and very difficult. So when keep that in mind for if you happen to be listening to this show and you wanted to buy some cool retro gaming stuff from like any site, not even just Stone Age Gamer, and you notice that the prices are a lot higher than they used to be. No one's trying to nickel and dime you. Like, nope. We're just responding to the fact that everything is going to cost us significantly more now too. And like, most businesses can't just take that. They can't just eat that hit, you know, like, we're going to keep our prices the same, but now our margin has completely disappeared. Like, or now it costs more for us to buy this than to sell it. It doesn't make any sense. Like that, how do we pay our employees, kind of a thing?
But we're still gonna, because we love customers. Like, it's just not a thing that happens.
Yeah, like, yes, we are very fond of our customers. We're very fond of a lot of people. But
sure,
we are still a business, and we can't make a business. We can't run a business if we don't make any profit. Like, that's how we pay for things. That's how we get more product. But you know, as people who make these things find it harder and harder to import the components to make them, like, this is just, it's just going to keep getting worse. I'm sorry to say. So
it's the reality of the situation, and what I would encourage people to be mindful of, right? And I say this as somebody not currently on the payroll for Stone Age Gamer. Be mindful of the companies that raise their prices due to tariffs and then keep their prices at those same levels when it is no longer necessary.
Right.
Because once a business, you know, and I say this because I don't believe that the Stone Age Gamer is a company that would do that. If I believed that they would do that, I wouldn't do this podcast.
I can guarantee you we aren't. We've been talking about, specifically talking about, like, how do we, what's the easiest way to do this where it's reversible once this is over. And you know, we didn't really come up with an answer.
Because most companies will be like, well, everybody got used to paying $8 for eggs, so even though we don't have to, and I know the eggs are not the tariffs, it's the avian flu, shut up, I get it. It's an example. Once the avian flu goes away, you're still going to pay $8 for eggs, because you already have been.
Yeah.
You know, like
this last time. Most
things are not prices. Gasoline.
They jacked up egg prices, like, just to the tipping point. And we're like, all right, well, we brought up, all right, so this is the point where people are getting pissed off? Cool. We'll drop it down to, like, 15% more than they used to be. But everyone's going to be happy because they're cheaper than they were.
So just pay attention, man. And, like, I know, I'll shut up. It's about to go a whole different way. But, yeah. Pay attention to that sort of thing. And if you are wanting to buy if you're wanting to buy anything electronic, do it as soon as you possibly can. I know say do it now is like, isn't that nice? Just do, because I can't either. I get it. But like, if you had a big purchase in mind, do it sooner rather than later if you are financially able to do so, because it's going to happen at some point. But do it. Don't listen to Kris. Don't go to other sites. That's fucking ridiculous. StoneAgeGamer.com/music is the best place to get all your retro gaming needs.
Where were we? All right. Oh, I love this story. I love this story so much. Nintendo Life reports Bit Trip Runner Dev is bringing back an Atari classic with a twist. Breakout Beyond. I have spoken at great length on this show about how much I wanted that amazing looking Breakout game for the stupid Intellivision Amico. And I was so sad that it seemed like it had been just lost to time, because it was an exclusive for the Intellivision Amico, and was like, well, this is the one game that makes me really excited. And Breakout Recharged was fine, but this looked amazing to me. I mean, I love choice provisions. Well, it's risen from the dead, and now it's coming out on everything, including the VCS. I couldn't be more thrilled. It's got a new name called Breakout Beyond. Apparently what happened was, let's see, according to this, scheduled for later this year on PC and consoles. It's worth noting that this was originally planned as an Amico and Intellivision exclusive, although Atari apparently agreed to acquire and complete the development. Atari acquired the Intellivision brand back in May of last year. So Atari just looked at this thing and said, we will continue to fund this to finish the game. And that makes me so happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Because this game looks amazing. I love choice provisions stuff, and I'm just so glad I'm finally going to get to play this thing. Because ever since I saw that first trailer, I'm like, this looks like a game for me. This looks so freaking cool, like rhythmic breakout. Count me the fuck in. And now I'll get to play it on whatever system I want.
It looked really, really interesting. And the new, like, I don't know if that trailer you shared was a new trailer or not.
Yeah, it was a new one.
Okay, I thought so. It just looks really cool. Like, just a really, really cool, interesting take on Breakout, which is great.
When this was shown off in the first place, it was like, this is the game. If I need to buy an Amico to play this game, then so be it. This is the game that it sold me on that platform. And then the platform ceased to exist. And clearly this isn't coming to Amico Home or anything like that either. This is just completely disassociated from Amico, which makes me very happy. And it's coming out on Xbox One, Series S and X. Just says Switch. I'd be surprised if there wasn't a Switch 2 in development version, but who knows? Steam, PS5, PS4, and Atari VCS. I'm probably going to get it on VCS because of the paddle controls. And I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Looks like
it's
a
weird
cool game. Looks super fun.
Every headline I would see about this was talking about it like it was a new game. And I'm like, it's been around for quite some time, but
yeah. But nobody else reported on the Amico quite like we did, Chris.
That's true. That's not true. But we did have that fuckwit on our show.
We did indeed.
Nintendo Life reports, this is sad news, Metroid Prime Remastered studio Iron Galaxy confirms layoffs, quote, to enable our long-term survival. This doesn't quite strike me as the usual gigantic corporation indulging in layoffs so much as this was Iron Galaxy, a studio known for its work on such titles as Metroid Prime Remastered, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and Diablo 3 on Switch, has confirmed that it has laid off 66 development and support staff. You gotta wonder why a company that's done this much good work is in a financial position to have to do something like this, or
struggle the way that they are.
And again, I don't know for sure. This could just be unfettered corporate greed. I don't want to take that off the table, but I don't think that it is. It says this news follows the recent confirmation that Fae Farm developer Phoenix Labs had laid off, quote, the majority of the studio, with an update on its games to follow at a later date. It's just looking bleak.
It's a bummer, man.
Keep finding just more and more layoffs all the time.
Yeah. It just fucking sucks, man. It fucking sucks.
It really does. Last but not least, this is a weird one I don't really know what to make of, but Nintendo Life reports E3's Entertainment Software Association returns with a new industry event. So the ESA that used to run E3 has something new. Yeah. I believe it's called ICON. IICON.
Okay.
The interactive innovation. How can I say this? Interactive Innovation Conference.
Okay.
ICON. This will be a first-of-its-kind event taking place in Las Vegas between April 27th and 30th, 2026, connecting, quote, visionaries, thought leaders, and innovators from across industries within interactive entertainment. The plan is to also bring together a, quote, broad spectrum of sectors that converge with interactive entertainment. This includes film, television, and music, as well as sports, healthcare, education, finance, and more.
Buzzword, buzzword, buzzword.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds very buzzwordy.
I really don't know what to make of this, but it's something to pay attention to. I miss E3. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I do too.
But with that, it's time for us to take ourselves our second break of the evening, and when we come back, we're going to climb aboard the Cartoon Express and talk some Darkstalkers. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around.
Capcom, Philip Summers, and NF Publishing present Hand-Drawn Game Guides Mega Man, an officially licensed strategy guide for the original Mega Man game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This massive book is filled with lovingly illustrated pages, diving deep into the world of Mega Man and strategies to defeat the original 6 robot masters before taking on the evil genius behind it all, Dr. Wily. All new mission briefing pages flesh out the story, and beautifully rendered maps plant the reader firmly in the Mega Man world. Transport yourself to a place between fantasy and reality, past and present, physical and digital. Back Hand-Drawn Game Guides Mega Man today.
Kickstarter campaign ends February 14th, 2025. Back your copy today.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Andy. Neither of us are David Crane, but we are the hosts of David Crane's Amazing Movie Time.
That's our monthly Geekade Patreon exclusive podcast that covers movies that are cult classics, weird, or just sometimes laughably bad.
We ourselves have at least 2 of those qualities, so I guess it makes sense to hear what we think of those movies in retrospect.
You can hear all that and more by becoming a Geekade Patreon supporter.
And, as always, be kind, rewind.
Do you enjoy the Stone Age Gamer podcast and other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network? Do you wish you could listen to them sooner than the regular unwashed masses? Do you wish you could contribute in some way? Well, then you should check out the Geekade Patreon. Yes, the Geekade Patreon is a wonderful and very much appreciated way for you to help us pay the bills and keep our shows running week after week. As a Geekade patron, you'll get a monthly podcast topic schedule and early access to nearly every show on the Geekade Podcast Network, as well as access to a patron-exclusive monthly show called DC's Amazing Movie Time from the creators of the Weekend Rental podcast. So head on over to patreon.com/geekade and become a loved and appreciated member of the Geekade Patreon team and get early access to shows like the Stone Age Gamer podcast, this week's episode, Turning Tracks, and a whole lot more. See you there.
supernatural things, magic and sorcery. They're back. From out of the gloom stalk your worst nightmares. Ghouls, zombies, werewolves, vampires. You can't be sure what lurks out there in the darkness of night.
We're the Darkstalkers.
All right, everybody, we are back. And we are aboard the Cartoon Express, where we're going to talk about a cartoon that definitely exists.
It was something. This was so much worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, this was not fun. This was not great.
It was actively bad.
Yeah, it was pretty rough all around. Like, I knew we were off to a bad start when, like, we didn't even get a kick-ass intro theme.
No. Yeah, it just kind of started. And, like,
looking up pictures to use for episode art. I'm just like, this picture of Dimitri with these giant fucking fists.
God, the perspective is so wrong.
What in the world? If you haven't, listeners at home, I'll go over a little bit more stuff in a minute, like get you little things around the basic info. But when I tell you that this is worth watching just to see how insane the perspective is in this show, like somebody will just have, for no reason that makes any sense within the space around it, a tiny head and then just massive shoulders and even larger fists, like a reverse fisheye lens or something. It's just the most obscene thing, and it happens all the time. Like, they were
the entire episode
drawing it thinking like, no, this needs to be closer to the camera, so they'll just go way overboard of like, all right, he's got, his shins are an inch long and he's got Donkey Kong arms. Like, unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's really wild
ass shit that they were doing. Like, I don't really understand what was happening.
So this is the TV series was just called Darkstalkers, obviously based on the Capcom video game, which I got to wonder how many kids saw this cartoon and had no idea that it was based on a video game, because like Darkstalkers has always been cool, but I'm not sure it's ever really been mainstream, like popular. Yeah, it's not a super popular franchise. It should be, because the character designs are really cool, but so anyway, this aired in 1995. The episode we're talking about is Samurai's Honor, was season 1, episode 10. I specify season 1 like there was a season 2. There definitely was not a season 2.
Definitely
this was
not.
a one and done situation. So the episode, Donovan seeks Harry's help to remove a spell placed on a child by Dimitri. So, like, I don't know a ton about Darkstalkers lore. There was some sort of like space alien that enslaved Dimitri, kind of like, so Dimitri's big evil vampire, and this alien dude is just like, fuck you, you work for me now because I'm stronger than you. And Dimitri's like super mad about it, but then he's also kind of cool with it in the end when he sees how strong he is. So he goes to like these people's house, and it's got the little girl that's always with Donovan there. So this must be like how this like plays out how those two characters meet. And he basically like drinks her parents' blood, and then he's about to get the kid, and then Donovan shows up with his balls. His balls are like flopping around all over the place. And he's a giant ass sword, and he starts angrily fighting Dimitri. And then there's a samurai who's he's a character in the game. I recognize him from the game, but like, this show is all over the map. It's like Felicia's there for some reason. She's eating cat food and modeling. Because she's a model, and she's hanging out with some teenage kid who's like a descendant of Merlin, who makes a bunch of like really dated movie references. And
oh God, what did he say? There was one. He's made some kind of reference that, oh, fuck. He made a Shirley MacLaine reference.
That's
what it was. He said something about Shirley MacLaine. It's like, who the fuck was that for?
This is a children's cartoon based on Darkstalkers. Who are you talking to?
So, I think my favorite part of this show was pointed out by my children because it was so fucking bad. It wasn't Donkey Kong Country bad, but it was like actually I think pretty close. I'm so disappointed in this show because Darkstalkers is cool. But at the beginning of the episode, right, it shows Dimitri getting sucked up, like you said, into the ship, right? Which that's the main bad guy of Darkstalkers. Like, that's the final boss guy. Like, Pylon or I can't remember his fucking name right now. But Dimitri's getting, like, sucked up, and he's like, fuck, sunlight, you prick. I'm going to find out who did this shit to me. And he's, like, getting taken up, like, wherever, right? And as he's being sucked up into outer space, he's bitching about the sun. And then the rest of the episode, where Dimitri is present, is in sunlight.
He's just raw dog in sunlight.
And my kids were like... Because he threatens to bite the little girl at the end. He's like, I'll make this little bitch a vampire. And Roddy was like, well, why the fuck does that matter? You're out in the sun the whole time. And Ben goes, yeah, the sun is like the easiest part of being a vampire. You just get like a parasol or something, and you're fine. Like, what? A parasol? Shut the fuck up. But they pointed, he is just in sunlight the rest of the episode.
Yeah, I wrote the same thing down. He's just in the broad daylight.
Just whatever. This is cool. Oh, boy.
So I wrote down straight off the bat, the intro was lame as fuck. The intro was super lame. I expected there to be some super cool theme song because, like, even the shitty shows, like, they get like really cool theme songs, and that just was not the case here. It was just a bunch of exposition.
Super fighting robot, Mega Man.
The character designs, even the shitty versions in this show, are still great though. Like, the character designs of Darkstalkers are super cool, and
they really are.
The fact that Capcom hasn't tried to really capitalize on this franchise in such a long time is obscene to me.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
And then, oh boy, the perspective shots are fucked. That was like the fourth note I wrote down. Like, what was happening in the animating room? And like, I think it was Street Fighter, which was done by the same studio, had that like super famous scene where like Guile walks into the background and he shrinks like 8 feet or something. Like, this was definitely a problem with these shows at the time.
It definitely happens in the end when Bishamon is walking towards the mountain and he's as big as the fucking mountain. So what are you doing? This is fucking nuts.
There was also this bit like, so Dimitri was able to teleport, but like in one of the scenes they didn't animate it. He just like appears.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
there's
he does.
Because like there's later in the episode, there's like this little visual effect that like he turns into energy or something and then disappears. But like there's a scene where he's talking to Ishimon where it's just like, there he is, just popped right in. What the hell was that?
Yeah, that was weird. That was definitely odd.
They didn't really desexualize Felicia. That was interesting.
Yeah,
she's still basically just running around naked but with a bunch of white stripes on her. But she's just like stands totally upright the whole time. Like, she's not like hunched over like a cat. She's just like talking like a normal lady with her gigantic blue hair and just eating cat food right out of the can. Like,
but an incredibly long tail as well.
Oh yeah. Very, very long and stretchable, I guess.
Yeah, that was weird.
I think Ishimon yelled bonsai at one point.
She yelled bonsai. When they're going into the portal, she like grabs fucking Harry with her tail from like 13 to 20 feet away.
Like a decent distance.
Yeah. Much longer than a tail is. Fucking's happening.
Oh, I'm trying to
so
find
angry.
Where this one piece of dialogue was that cracked my shit up. I don't know. This is the next episode. There's no business like dragon business.
There definitely isn't.
There we go. Samurai's Honor. It was towards the end. I gotta find this because it cracked me up. My God, this was bad. I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure it was Dimitri who said it. He said, like, it was when they were like getting ready to like fuck him up, and he got away or whatever, and he said ship. But I didn't think he said ship.
He said ship. Oh, but Tiff goes,
right.
Why is he yelling shit?
Because like he knew he was fucked, and I was like, oh, he just said, oh, he said ship. He's finding some ship to take him away. I thought that was so funny.
He was definitely yelling shit a whole bunch.
The wizard kid was absolutely terrible. There was a close-up shot of there was there found it. It's at the 20-minute and 46-second mark. He backs up and he goes, ship. I was like, did he just say shit? Oh.
Ship, get me out of here, ship.
It's like, he's got a ship? Where did that come from? Whatever.
Well, that's whatever. The alien, the bad guy from the beginning.
But, like, when did he ever call it ship? Like, why is he calling it? I know,
why didn't they come up with a name?
Something like
Give
that.
Give it a name, you prick.
Oh, boy.
It was so bad. It's so fucking bad. I was so angry watching this. Because I'm pretty sure that I've seen it at some point. Like, I'm relatively sure that I have.
I've watched the Cartoon Express back in the day, and I don't know that I've ever actually watched it, but I've known of this show. Like, I definitely have seen, I'm sure I've seen at least some of an episode at some point.
Yeah. But God, this was bad.
Yeah, this was pretty wretched. This is just very poorly written. It was so haphazard. It was all over the place. Like, they were trying to tell a story, but they kept like throwing characters in. It just seemed convoluted, even though it was ridiculously stupid. Like, this was just a fucking mess. Yeah,
it really was a fucking mess.
Which is just such a huge disappointment, considering it's the source material. That this is Darkstalkers. It's about a bunch of weird ass monsters. Like,
yeah,
how did this go so poorly?
Yeah, like it didn't have to be this way, guys. You could have just not done that. You could have done something else. Would have been fine. Oh, God, it was bad. It was bad.
All right, well, let's get out the old ranking sheet here. Not that I think this is going to be very difficult to suss out. There we go. Cartoon Express, 2025. So this is just the second one, right? This is our second stop this year. So clearly this goes underneath The Legend of Zelda. Like, right? That's not really a question here. If I could put it like lower, I would, but there's only 2 spots so far.
Yeah.
Darkstalkers, Season 1, Episode 10. Samurai's Honor.
What was so weird about it, too, it just felt, I think what you said, like, what's so weird is that it felt just so thrown together. Like, none of this makes any sense in what you're trying to do here.
Yeah, it's very haphazard. Definitely, it was a huge disappointment. You know, considering the source, it was just a dreadful disappointment.
Yeah. Well, did we get any Discord feedback on this one?
No, I don't.
Since I know you like to ignore those guys.
I do. I really do. Let's see. Go to Threads and Cartoon Express. The only thing we've got is when does this episode record? And then Duroc Pig said, I didn't even know this version of Darkstalkers existed. I have only watched the anime. And that's it. Nobody else mentioned anything about Darkstalkers, and I'm okay with that. I don't think
I don't blame you.
Something that anyone should watch.
I don't blame you in the slightest.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting.
I don't know what I was expecting either, but it wasn't this.
It wasn't this.
I have now removed Darkstalkers from the wheel. Let's see. I just want to make sure Legend of Zelda is not on here, right? No. So we've got a bunch of other shows to choose from that we will watch single episodes of this year. Because we're only doing one episode per show. Once it's been covered, it goes away. So I'm ready to spin the wheel and see what show we are going to be watching next. What show will be our March show is going to be... It's going to be close. It's on the line. Oh, boy, it just went over the line past Double Dragon and landed on Mega Man.
All right.
So Mega Man is our next show for March. So the question becomes, which episode? So now we go over to the Plex server. We look up Mega Man. Super Fighting Robot.
Mega Man.
And
best
Shuffle. Ooh, okay. So we are looking at Season 1, Episode 9, Bot Transfer.
All right.
So this
sounds sexy.
This is going to be interesting because this show is also not spectacular, but it's such a different... It's not Darkstalkers, you know?
Yeah, it's a different level of bad.
It's a different kind of bad.
Not
where it's
good.
Still, it's not genuinely good, but it's not like awful. You know, it is another Capcom property who, clearly really wanted to, get their name out there. So what was this? Season 1, Episode 9, Bot Transfer. Just trying to write it down before I forget it. 09, Bot Transfer. I can't wait. I loved this Mega Man show so much when it was airing. I knew it was flawed. Like I didn't even care. I sort of like the voiceovers in it. Oh, and then Darkstalkers, Donovan's voice was the guy who did Optimus Primal in Beast Wars.
I thought he sounded familiar. I didn't care for it. Did not care for it.
No, sir.
No, sir.
I didn't like it.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
All right. Well, that is it. That's our show. That's going to wrap things up, and hopefully, I'm so glad we dodged Double Dragon.
I know. Well, it was so recent, that's not fun.
Double Dragon, it was so recent. Although that was a really entertaining piece of horrible cartoon right there. It was definitely entertaining. But there's so many shows we haven't even touched on yet. I'm so curious about some of them. Like, I've never seen the Wing Commander cartoon. I have no idea what to expect. Yeah. But anywho's, that's our show. Join us next time for the next stop on the Alphabet Super Series. The next stop? No, that doesn't work. For the next entry.
That's not it.
Entry in. Whoo! And in case you were wondering why this show is more popular, this is why. My fault. The next entry in the Alphabet Super Series for the letter T, Dan picked Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, which I had never played before, and it's been an interesting experience thus far. So we'll talk all about it next time, and I will get to pick the letter U. It's going to be Ultima 6, The False Prophet. Enjoy.
Oh, Jesus, please don't. I mean, do what you got to do, but good God.
No RPGs. No long games. Anyways, we're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, just wait for Evan to post them early, because I'm just kidding with you, Evan.
Dickhead thing for you to say. Just wait for Evan to fuck up.
In our tenure, awesome. It's happened, I think, exactly twice. So it's just, it's a thing. Anyway, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Scarred Ruth, was written by Banjo Guy Ali. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making this show listenable for all you folks. We'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.